This is a stimulus update and daily news report. Got some big updates to share with you, and wow, this is like a once in a rare type of moment. Bernie Sanders and Republicans agree on this big bill not going through. I'll let you know the details of what this bill is, why they don't like it. Also, I'll let you know who does support it, and I'll give you the latest stimulus check news, like the new $500 monthly checks going out and available for application, and I'll give you some other more important updates as well. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below, and I'm giving $200 to my subscribers. I'll talk more about that later on in the video, but first, Republicans split on major China bill as legislation barrels toward passage. So this bill is actually both the Republicans and Bernie Sanders agree on this one thing, that it should not go through. Take a look at what Bernie Sanders has to say on it, and then I'll give you the Republican perspective on it as well.
You know, I hear a lot of concern about the deficit here in the Senate, and I hear people say we can't afford to feed hungry children, can't afford to deal with climate change, we can't afford to guarantee health care to all. Deficit is very, very large. Well, we're talking about $76 billion, at least that, maybe more, which will add to the deficit. So when you consider the deficit, you might want to also take into account tax breaks and corporate welfare for large profitable corporations. As a result of some new tax reduction language, the corporate welfare total for the microchip industry has gone up. It is now at $76 billion. And the corporate lobbyists working on this bill, like pigs at the trough, are not yet finished. They want more and more and more. Their needs are insatiable. As you know, a broken clock is right twice a day. And even the Wall Street Journal got this one right. Among the many reasons they urge Congress to vote against this bill is one that I think is very relevant, and let me quote. The chip bill isn't needed to compete with China, and it will set a precedent that other industries will follow. Anybody who can throw up a China competition angle will ask for money. Why Republicans want to sign up for this is a mystery, end of quote, Wall Street Journal. So you pass this bill, and tomorrow we'll hearing, I no doubt, from the cell phone industry, from the computer laptop industry, about how they need their welfare checks as well.
What are your thoughts on what Bernie Sanders has to say? He does bring up a lot of good points. This blank check of $50 billion going out to billion-dollar profit companies. Is this the right move? Could this money be better used for people in the U.S.? Could be better used for struggling families, people on disability? Should the money stay here? Let me know your thoughts on that. House conservatives criticize CHIPS Plus package as fake China bill. Take a look at what the Republican perspective here is from Senator Tom Cotton, and let me know your thoughts on that.
Welcome back to the show, Senator Tom Cotton of the great state of Arkansas. Senator Cotton, thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Larry. It's always good to be back on with you.
So, listen, this crazy semiconductor chip $250 billion bailout, Senator Schumer's trap. I just want you to listen to what your colleague Rick Scott said on Fox Business yesterday, because I think it sums up everything. Please take a listen.
Intel Corporation made $20 billion last year. Guess what? We're going to give them some money to build a plant. Then we're going to give them a tax deduction for building the plant. And then we're going to give them a tax credit for building the plant. And guess what? They can keep doing business in China.
So, I hate to be too simplistic, but I think that kind of sums up the craziness of this bill. What you voted against the procedural vote, which was a fabulous vote on your part, if I do say so. What do you think of this story?
Yeah, so Larry, there is a genuine risk of China controlling the world's chip market, especially the most advanced chips, which are made in Taiwan. I just don't think this bill has enough guardrails, for instance, whether it's allowing companies that might benefit from these tax credits or grants to continue to do business in China. I don't think there's enough protections for the money that would be going to America's universities and colleges and the National Science Foundation to make sure that they're not subject of Chinese espionage. And finally, also worry that it may not be addressing that one very specific, very critical threat, which is the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. They make the world's most advanced chips. They're on an island that China has targeted with thousands of missiles and probably intends to invade in the next few years if we don't do something to stop it. It's most vital that we focus on those chips and making sure that we get them out of Taiwan in part so there's resiliency in their production, preferably to America, but at least out of missile range from mainland China.
You know, I want to digress. I want to come back to the chip story in a second. But on this business of Taiwan, where I think you're absolutely right about the Chinese threat. In fact, you read in the newspapers, they're watching Russia's mistakes in Ukraine so that they can be better prepared to go into Taiwan. The U.S. government, the Biden administration, doesn't seem to be doing anything really to provide arms and expertise to the Taiwan government, whether it's air defenses or naval defenses or whatever. We won't be able to do it if they invade because they're just an island, as you said. What is Biden doing on this point?
He's not doing nearly enough, Larry. As you said, we got to get those weapons to Taiwan now because unlike Ukraine, since Taiwan's an island, China could blockade Taiwan and we wouldn't be able to resupply them. And we need to get the right kinds of weapons to Taiwan. Look, we're not going to be able to produce enough aircraft, enough ships for Taiwan. We can produce things like anti-ship missiles, anti-aircraft missiles, advanced sea mines, the kinds of weapons for land warfare in Ukraine that stopped Russia's invasion in the north in March. We could give them the same kind of weapons that would stop a maritime and an air invasion of Taiwan. But we need to produce a lot more of it right here in America, and we need to make sure that we're getting it to Taiwan as fast as we can.
Do the Bidens get that there's a major threat with respect to China invading Taiwan? I mean, do they get that?
You know, Joe Biden can't even get America's policy straight, Larry. For decades, we've had a policy of what's called strategic ambiguity. We won't say exactly what we will do if China invades Taiwan. Now, I, for one, think that policy is now outdated, that we should be clear that we will help Taiwan defend itself. Joe Biden in the last 9 months has said the same thing 3 times, only to have his own staff walk it back within a few hours. That creates the worst of both worlds. We have the provocation of China without the deterrence of China.
Let me just come back to this chip story. $250 billion. I don't think anybody knows exactly what's in the Schumer amendment yet. It's over 1,000 pages. But I got a couple things. Besides the $25 billion in tax credits and the $54 billion in grant center, I see transportation gets $10 billion. National Science Foundation doubles their budget, $82 billion. The Commerce Department gets $11 billion. The Energy Department, get this, the Energy Department gets $50 billion. This sounds like Solyndra all over again. I got these numbers from Steve Scalise's office. I don't have all of them, but I get to $234 billion. I mean, really, do we have to have a big spending inflationary bill just to take care of what amounts to some national security issues?
No, Larry, I don't think so. And let me give you one example, the National Science Foundation budget more than doubling. They've done good work in the past, but they're a small grant-making institution. What they aren't that great at is ensuring that their grant recipients at college and university labs around the country are not the victims of Chinese espionage. In fact, they and those universities and the companies that work with them often actively oppose any measures to protect their innovations and inventions from Chinese espionage. I really worry that we're going to be shoving money in the front door of some of these institutions, and China is going to be taking their breakthroughs out the back door back to China.
And won't all these appropriations or grants have the usual left-wing strings attached to them? You know, we're going to have racial justice and equity and Green New Deal, climate change. I mean, isn't that going to be part of this mess?
I think you can assume the Biden administration is going to be making sure that all of their left-wing itches get scratched anytime they're sending money out the door. That's why we shouldn't be giving them a lot more money.
All right, well, spot on that.
So I'll be honest, I always like to look at things from both perspectives, both the Republican, the Democrat, the pros, the cons. I don't really see too many pros here. They're giving billions of dollars to these billion-dollar profit companies. They're making billions in profit per year, and they're getting more billions for this. Why can't they just use the profits? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on all that. Next, let's get into the stimulus news. So Mount Vernon to provide $500 per month to low-income residents under new Level Up Guaranteed Income Pilot program. So this is in Mount Vernon, New York, and applications are now available. So it's the program will address the economic insecurity faced by Mount Vernon residents by providing $500 per month for 12 years, totaling $6,000 for the year. And on July 20th, eligible Mount Vernon residents are invited to apply to the pilot program at 9 a.m. on the program's website. So just a couple days ago, the website opened up. If you're in Mount Vernon, New York, you have to be at least 18 years old, have a minimum income requirement of $15,000, and you could potentially get that $500 per month. So we're seeing more of these pop up, universal basic income, city and state stimulus checks, but we're not seeing it on the federal level yet. Let me know your thoughts. Should there be more of these programs? And that is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
The one thing for the tip of the day, be glad what you have, because I might not be there, because if you really wanted something and now you don't like it, you have to take a chance what you had before, because I might not be there. So that's the last tip of the day that I wanted to give. Bye, it's Bella.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your time, all of your support. Don't forget about the $200 checks. Details down in the description below. And my pickleball tournament was moved until 4 p.m. today. So I'll let you know. Well, tomorrow I'm going to go to church with the family, so I might not be able to make a video for tomorrow, but Monday I'll definitely let you know how the tournament went. Hopefully you have a great rest of your weekend. If you want to check out any of my other videos, my other channels, you can click up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.